Welcome to the Autovault podcast, where the world of luxury meets the open road. This show is all about bringing together extraordinary people from all walks of life, united by one thing, a passion for automobiles. This podcast is your front row seat to the stories that drive us all. I'm Scott Prescott, founder and owner of Autovault Rodeo Drive here in beautiful downtown Beverly Hills. Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Prescott here at Autovault Rodeo Drive in downtown Beverly Hills. We're here for our podcast, and we're going to learn a little bit about Cleo Shelby, business entrepreneur extraordinaire, and she was involved with the automobile industry for many, many years. And we're going to talk with her and see about her journey through the cars and how she came from where she grew up in her hometown. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. A bit jet lag, but good.
Yes, you do. And you travel around quite a bit, don't you?
All the time, too much.
Yes. Well, part of the travel is we know a little bit about you. Where are we actually from? Where were you born and grew up?
England. London.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Did you come from a big family or?
No, not really. No. My father died when I was 5 years old, and my sister died when she was 15. So we kind of dwindled a bit. But yeah, it was very sad. And but things happen. So I remember I didn't know my father too well, but called him Sir. But he there was a thing called a Grecian fly. You've probably never heard of it here. It's for young children. It's a tricycle with a compartment at the back to put your toys. And I told the girls at the kindergarten I was getting one, silver blue with white wall tires. And I wasn't, you see. I said to my mother, could I have one? She said, no, you can't. So when my father came, I said, Daddy, could I have a Grecian flyer, please? He said, what the hell is that? I said, it's a tricycle and it's got a compartment at the back. And he said to me, you can have anything you want, but you have to want it enough. He said, send me a letter. Well, at 5 years old, I didn't do a very good letter, but I got colour pencils and I did each letter in a different colour. Even though the words were they weren't, it wasn't in a straight line. Anyway, then he sent his car around and the chauffeur said to me, I'm to take you to the biggest toy store in the world, Hamleys in Regent Street, and you can have anything you want. I thought, Grecian flyer. Here I go. So in I go, and they had one on show, but it was red. So I said to the lady, do you have one that is silver blue with white wall tires, please? And she said, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I'll send someone down to have a look. There was one, and I got it. Wow. And anyway, they took me back to the house, and my mother had seen that I'd got it. So anyway, I got it all ready. I put a night dress in the back, toothbrush, toothpaste, change of clothes, my favourite teddy bear, and another pair of shoes. And I got in it, and I made for the gates. And she said, where are you going? I said, I don't like you. I'm leaving you.
Wow.
You won't see me again.
Wow.
And she didn't say anything, but I could hear something move at the back. Well, it had a thing like that comes out like that. And I was pedaling, but I wasn't really going anywhere. She said, go to your room. I said, I mean it. I don't like you.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to go to my grandmother's house. She liked me.
Yeah.
She used to buy me deformed jelly babies.
Deformed jelly babies.
Oh, I love them. They were the best. They tasted the best.
Wow.
She always said, I'll take you shopping. And she said, you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I said once when I was a little bit older, I said, can I have a pair of shoes, please? Forbidden fruit. It was pointed toe, gunmetal, sort of silver, with a little tiny heel. And I was only 13. And they're in the window. I said, those shoes there. She said, is this okay with your mother? I said, yes, it's perfectly okay with my mother. Yes, wow. We'll go in. Of course it wasn't. And we go in and they said, I haven't got your size. I said, I'll take whatever size you got.
Yeah, wow.
And it hurt. It was too small. And I'm holding on to her going like, she said, are you sure you're okay, dear? I'm fine. I paid for. So I got those shoes, but I hid them under my bed.
Wow.
Tell my mum.
That's crazy. Wow. Well, as you grew up, you had mentioned to me earlier about your schooling and how you were preening for certain destinations and where you would need to go.
It was just nuns, English nuns to begin with,
Oh.
and then French.
Oh.
And I called it at school. It was Victoriana Gothic castle, and I was very feisty. All girls, no boys, all girls, and I, I was sort of spirited, let's put it that way.
Wow.
So I probably spent more time in the dungeons under the school than I actually did in the school. In fact, one of the gardeners, oh, not you again, he said, I'll pass you some food through the bars. Bars, and it's horrible down there. Dungeons not supposed to be nice. And yes, they were lovely. And but the nuns were, Madame Eucharia Maria, she said, you're the worst girl in school. And I don't think I was. So she said, but you can redeem yourself. Okay. Calligraphy in 22 karat gold on the scriptures. Oh. She said, you can do those, and we'll put them in glass cases. Well, I was good at art and I was good at calligraphy. So I did them, and I sort of gained some points, but scared the hell out of me. She did. She just was very big. Wow. And I took some of her chocolate biscuits once.
So this was like an all-girls school?
All girls.
All-girls school. Yeah.
Yes, both schools were all girls.
As it went through the grades up until 12th, or?
No, 16.
Till 16.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it was based on age then. Oh.
Yes, and the English nuns to begin with, when we were very small, were lovely. But no boys again, no boys. Because I think it's good. I know a lot of people send children to mixed schools, but young girls, when hormones start to kick in and things, they don't concentrate on their lessons as much because there's boys in the class. Yeah. And it's distracting. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And I sent my daughter to all girls boarding school too. Oh. Wow. And I think it works. Yeah. It works good. Me,
well, and we'd also spoke briefly about as you got older, you then started to get involved in cars.
Well, first, like everything, pop stars, because Mick Jagger lived down the road. He went to Dartford Grammar. He's quite smart, actually. Oh. But I really liked Keith Richards. But I dated Brian Jones to be at Redlands, the country house, just to see Keith Richards. He wasn't the best looking, but he was cool. He just stood there with a bottle of whiskey and a cigarette and just looked out the window. I don't know. It was just something about him that was different.
Just the feeling.
Yes. Yeah. And then a friend of mine, Sarah, she said, why don't you go for a beauty contest? I said, I'm not doing that, no. She said, oh, well, I'm going to. I said, no. She became Miss World, actually. Wow. The English Miss World. And I went in for the first one because she needed company, because the girls are very bitchy. And I won that one. It's London. And then I was at a club and these men came up and said, would you like to go on television? I said, what for? He said, I want you to dance. Pop stars are there. It's called Top of the Pops. I said, okay, I'll go there. And that is really, although he lived near me, David Bowie, his name was Davy Jones, and the group was called The Lockers. And he had to change his name because Davy Jones and the Monkees. Oh, yeah. Who was also English. Yeah. And he was funny and nearly got arrested because of me. I want palms, on common land. We're young. We didn't know that it's always owned by somebody, right? So I said, let's go at midnight, use the group van, get a shovel, and take some of those palms for my mother.
The trees, dig up the trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So he did. And 2 police cars arrived. Because he could have been burying a body.
Yeah.
He said, what are you doing, son? He said, I'm digging up some palms for her mother. And he looked at me, he said, if I had a girl looking like that, son, I wouldn't be digging up palms. And they let us off. It was funny side of it. But David was lovely, and he was a lovely guy, but he said, I'm going to be famous. I can write my own music. And I said, oh, okay. Then that accident happened with his eye, and because he wasn't born like that. Oh. And he got punched in the eye by his friend and took him to hospital, and it was retina. So that's why one eye was different from the other.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Wow. So then I bet no one knows that story, right?
No.
Only a very few, selective few. Wow.
Yeah. It's just, and My mother said to me at the time, she said, look, you're not going to marry anyone like that. I'm telling you now. So you can just stop it.
Oh.
And once she came in the room, and I thought, she won't recognise this one. And the television was on. She's going like that. Like,
Mm.
and I thought, oh, crikey, she's recognised. She was funny. But she was, that's what she wanted. And so became a mod. Mods had scooters.
Oh, this. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But if you had a car, it could only be a mini.
A mini.
A mini.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So mother said, if you pass your test first time, you can have any car you want. Mini. Oh, you can't have one of those. Get the Riley Elf. It's got wood and leather and it's beautiful. I said, no, that's not a mini. It's got to be a mini. Standard mini. Oh, okay. So I got my mini straight because you can't drive, can you, first of all? You can't. So if I go to Hyde Park Corner in London, the guys were chasing me and I'm looking, and I hit the back of a bus, double decker.
Oh.
And he threw the seat out and people had to disembark.
Yeah.
And a black Jaguar pulls up next with 4 men in it. And he said, are you okay? I said, well, I'm a bit scared. I've had an accident. I hit this bus. And he goes over to the bus driver. He said, put the seat back in and go. He said, we'll take care of you. Yeah. We'll drive you home and we'll have the car fixed and it'll be delivered to your house. But that's another story. I never met with the phrase before, and I just like it got a bit out of hand. But anyway, yeah. So I'm very thrilled to be a mod. And then I met my husband, and he'd asked my mother permission to marry me, and she said yes. So he passed my mother test, and by this time, John Cooper had built me a Mini Cooper Works. I'd gone up from the one my mother bought me because in the end, after 3 accidents, she took it off me.
Oh, wow.
So I had to buy my own Mini. I got a Mini Cooper first, El Paso beige and white. And then John Cooper said, I'll make you a Mini Cooper Works S. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, 35 times for dangerous driving, I got done in that one. I'd just see a block of cars. Those Minis were fast. Could
Right.
beat anything
It's
against
small,
the lights.
little.
Small, new, like that. And I just,
Yeah.
and once I was at Westminster Bridge, and I thought I'd got a Hell's Angel next to me. I thought I'd teach him how fast this car can go. And over I went, got to the other side, said, congratulations, madam. Madam? That's not a Hell's Angel. Oh,
Yeah,
crikey.
yeah.
I looked up, it's a police motorbike. I said,
Wow.
he said, you're doing 70. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, well, look, you're a pretty kid. I'll let you off. What's your telephone number? And I went, da, 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 da. And he said, what was the number again? I'd forgotten what I said. So he said, no, you shouldn't do that, We've got your address. So, okay. But yeah, I like, then I realized I like speed. And then my future husband said, I don't really think you should drive that car because you're getting into a lot of trouble, because they stopped him in Park Lane once and the police said, you better take your passenger for a drink. He looks very white. So I got a white MGB.
Oh, yeah.
Left in the garage in London for my birthday, which was fine.
Wow.
I took off on it, but then it started to rain and you've got all these studs and you've got to do it yourself.
Well, you have to snap everything in for the roof.
And I was like, of course, burst into tears. Oh, no.
Convertible, yeah.
So honestly, it had to go.
Oh.
So the next thing was, it was the 3Ms, Mini, MG, and then Mercedes Pagoda.
Oh,
and the first ones were 230 SLs.
Yes.
And I got one of those, and I got a red one, and I realized that I was getting married. So I didn't like Mercedes white. It was too creamy for me. So I sent it to Aston Martin, and they painted it white for me with a slight blue. It's beautiful. And of course, they had the white steering wheel anyway inside.
Yes.
And I don't know why I didn't use it for the wedding. I just wanted it white because I got married.
Yeah.
And then after I got married, I was pregnant with Simone, and they made a special, like a carry cot for a child to slip in, because they were like just a 2-seater car, really, those early ones. Or a midget, you can put in the back. But so I love that car, and I had 230, 250, and 280. And that was, the last one was bronze. And a gentleman came down from the north, and he said, I own hundreds of shops. I'm very well known in the north. And I've decided, my daughter works so hard that I'm going to get a car for her. She loves these. And I thought I'd get her one for her birthday. Okay. And he said, here's a check for it. And I looked at the check, and it had horses on it, and it had Wells Fargo. I said, "That's not a proper check." I said, "Well, Wells Fargo, horses on a check? Really?" He said, I'm a multimillionaire, and I want to take the car now. Well, when you're young, I let them take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can guess what happened.
The horses were not the horses.
Well, it was a Wells Fargo. He stopped the check. He
Oh,
said he took
after.
it to Mercedes, and the window didn't go up fast enough.
Oh.
A bit like that. And I thought, I can't believe that. He's got my car, and I haven't got the money.
Mm.
So my husband said to me, "Look, we're going to drive up." I found out where the house is, where they live, and all the shops. So he said, "We're going to go up there the night before. We're going to find where that car is." He said, he had a big Mercedes. He said, "I'm going to block the road off with my Mercedes sideways." He said, I had spare keys for my car. He said, "You get in that car and all the way to London, which was 5 hours."
Oh, wow.
He said, "Don't let any cars get in between us." And I'm like, got it back. We put it in, I lived in Belgravia then at Wilton Place. And so I put it underground at Duggan car park. And then I go off because Sir Terence Conran, had just a few hours jog with him because he was such a nice person. So anyway, two men arrived at the door before I was leaving, and they said, "Oh, hello, we've come about the Mercedes." I said, "What do you want?" He said, "Well, we want to know where it is." I said, "Well, I don't know. I'm the maid." And I left. Well, when I got back in the afternoon, my husband was there with the two men. They were police officers, plainclothes from up north, and they were obviously very friendly with this man.
Yeah.
And he said, he said, "We knew you weren't a maid."
Wow.
I said, "Okay, fine." And he said, "He wants to know where the car is." I said, "No, they've stolen it. They haven't paid for it."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, he will give you the cash for it now." I said, "No, I don't like him. That was a mean trick that he played on me." I said, "No, he's not getting the car now. In fact, I'm not selling it. I've decided. I'll put it with all the others." And he looked at me and he said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes, I am. It wasn't me, it's him as a bad person.
Yeah.
And now, because he was so mean, he can't have it."
Yeah.
And then, of course, after that, then the 350s came out, and I got one of those, and that was the one that saved my life.
Wow. So
Yeah, but
this individual was a Mercedes mechanic type, and he tried to steal the car from you.
No, he was the owner. He had about 200 shops
I
up in
see.
the north.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
well known up in the
And he
north.
tried to take it from you, like you weren't going to do anything about it.
No,
Crazy.
like because I was so young that I
Yeah.
was just a little
Wow.
girl, I
Pull a
guess.
James Bond and go grab it and take off with it down the
That
road.
was super cool. It was very exciting. Yeah,
Wow.
it was exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was then the other Mercedes. I got a new one each time it came out. I used to always keep the old one because I never really liked each new one to let it grow on me.
Right. Right.
And then
Wow.
and I like cars. I've gradually sort of liked cars very much. I didn't like motorbikes,
Yes.
although my friend Lord Hesketh, he actually he designed one, and Barry Sheen was a friend of mine, a world champion, and Sir John Surtees, who won, the only man to win it on 2 wheels and 4 wheels, the world championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a lovely man. I met him because I was buying the Putnam Manor, and then I realised it was listed. And I thought, oh no, the restoration, because the woman that was in their store had lost her mind. She had boots on in the house because the ceiling had come down.
Oh,
and it
no.
was, and so I met him, and he bought it, and he sold his car collection to keep it financed.
Wow.
It was a money pit, but yeah,
Wow.
I've always loved cars. Not love them. I was very interested in them.
Yes. Okay.
And
I understand. Sure.
Aston Martins. My husband was an Aston Martin person, as was his father and father. They all, but DB4s and ones beyond that. But I knew Sir David Brown because he used to come to the house.
Yeah. The DB.
Yeah, he was really funny. He's a funny, short, funny guy. And it's funny that Carroll won Le Mans for him in the Aston Martin DBR1. And he was a super guy. And Mary, her father, created Jaguar.
Oh.
And she bought the golf club near my country house. She was great fun. We all met, and Sir David Brown's daughter, we all had racehorses. and we loved our horses. But Paula, she's got the gold cup, and she walked in, it was holding the door. I said, "That's the Cheltenham Gold Cup." She said, "I know, I've won it." I said, "But it really shouldn't be a doorstop." She said, "Why not?" I said, "It's solid gold. It's not a trophy like you normally get.
Wow.
Your name's going to go on it, and then you give it back. But if you get burgled," and it got to be pretty strong, the guy that runs off with it, I said, "You've got a problem."
It's a big loss.
Yeah, it was. So it's little things like that. And
Wow.
Roy Salvadori, who won Le Mans with Carroll, he was great fun too. He used to run around with Bernie Eccleston. I
Yep.
met Bernie Eccleston when I was young.
Oh yeah, big
And
name. Yeah.
yeah, my
Well,
friend.
now we've progressed into, you're talking about the cars and Mercedes and all. Now you did use that word Carroll. That brings you into now the Carroll Shelby world, right?
Yes.
Okay. And now how did you meet Carroll? What happened with him?
Well, I didn't exactly meet him. I was going to a ball in London, and I was on my own. I was on my own quite a bit, and it was the Berkeley Square ball. And my chauffeur opened the door, and I had a scarlet ball gown because it was a scarlet ball. And Carroll was racing for Ferrari and lived in Mount Street, Mayfair, with Master and Gregory. And he's going for his evening walk, and he saw the red carpet, and he thought, "I wonder who that is." And as I got out of the car, he looked at the car and thought, "That's a Rolls Royce, but it's a strange Rolls Royce. I've not seen one of those." And he said, "You were so young with long black," I used to have very long black hair. He said, "I thought you were a princess because I was waiting for my jewelry because I wasn't insured to wear it in transit." And he said to himself, "One day I'm going to be rich and famous and I'm going to marry her." Isn't that strange? He didn't even know me.
Yeah.
But at different times through the years, I go to an art gallery open and there would be Carroll. Weird. And he was tall and slim.
Mhm.
Very
And this was in England.
Yeah, in England.
Yeah.
And because he lived 15 years, I think, in England,
Oh.
something like that. And once I was with my friend Maggie and some ladies, because I belonged to the Harrods Ladies Club, and they'd invited us. And he walked towards Maggie said, "This chap keeps looking at me and he's really gorgeous." So I said, "Oh, that's nice." I thought, I get another glass of champagne. And he walked out, and then he walked towards me. And I said, "Yes." He said, "Can I get you a champagne?" Oh, I said, "They're all free. They're just there." And he said, "I'm going to marry you." And I was like, it was the way he came out with it. And I said, "You'll never marry me." "No, you won't marry me." He said, "Why not?" I said, "I'm married." And he said, "How married?" I said, "Very married." He said, "I can wait." He waited 27 years.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a challenge. That's a challenge.
Yes, I couldn't believe it that he was still there.
Were you in touch at all through those periods? You
Yes.
saw them back and forth and
Yes.
stuff like that?
Well, he was very clever. My boyfriend had a house like sort of Downton Abbey, and the Earl of Marsh for Goodwood. He said, "I say, could you take care of Carroll Shelby for me?" to my boyfriend. So that got Carroll close to me again.
Oh.
He put him in the swimming pool. It's an old house, so the swimming pool had its own cottage.
Oh yeah.
And
Second, like a back house.
yes, and he put Carol in there, and he came in one day and he said, "Could you help me do some autographs that thick?" And I'm like, "Whoa, that's a lot." And I said, "You okay?" He said, "I'm fine, a bit tired." So anyway, next time I arrived on a Friday, and we were all going out I was a bit late because of the traffic, and Carol was there on his own. He said, "I thought I'd wait behind for you." Oh, I said, "Thank you." And we got in my car. He said, "This is a beautiful car." I said, "Thank you, that's nice." And he said, "I've been invited up to Oxford University, I think it was. The Dons have invited us up." So it's really weird because I pulled up outside this man came out. He said, "You have a beautiful car." And I thought, that's weird. That's two men that said that.
Yeah,
And it was
seems-
kind of weird feeling. But of course, when I got married to Carol, he said, "You've got to sell all of those." I said, "That's a new SL Mercedes AMG. It, what's wrong with it?" He said, "Emissions control."
Mm.
And he said, "You've got a lot of cars, haven't you?" I said, "Yes, I have." He said, "How many?" I said, "I don't know, about 90. I don't know how many cars I got. I bought everything I liked."
Mm.
And he said, "They're going to come over and look at your cars." So you know what they said? He said, "You can bring back three. Three
And now bring it back. Bring them
to America with
to
me."
here when you
Yeah,
come here. I
yes.
see.
And
Out
I
of
said,
all the 19, only 3.
"Yes."
Wow.
So I said, which one's that? He said, the 1958 Coupe de Ville Cadillac. I said, I don't like it because I sent the men out to buy it for me, and I thought it had wings. It wasn't. It was a small one.
Yeah.
On the back. But and then my Willys Jeep, 1943, like brand new, still had the Browning machine gun on the back and the lunchbox. And a very wealthy guy had it, and he got breathalyzed. He said, "Oh, I'm going to my home in Australia. I can't not drive. Do you want to buy this off me?" So I said yes, and the film companies were approaching me for it, and everything. It was like brand new. And I had a house in Hampstead as well, and I was in the pub, and I came out and my machine gun was gone. And they'd tape my steering wheel. Metropolitan Police, report to the police station with your demodification certificate.
Oh, for the machine gun, you couldn't be riding around with a gun.
Yes.
Wow,
Well,
especially something that big. Huh?
yeah, big, really. Well, you think these things. So anyway, I produced it, and he said, "You've got to stop doing these things." I said, "What?" He said, "You live in Millionaires Row." He said, "Mr. Fisher can't get his Rolls Royce round the tank." I can explain that. We're going on Chelsea cruise tomorrow, and I've hired 2 Hells Angels for the Model B4 with exposed engine. I said there's going to be American theme, and I bought 12 American Jeeps and an American tank. And it's only for one night, and we do it in the morning, and then it'll be put away. He said, "You mustn't do this." Well, I said, "I can't move them all because everyone's gone home, but they'll be gone. You'll never see them again." He said, "You're really, things you do." And he said, "The Crown commissioners have just told us that they've double clamped your American stretch limousine, the Cadillac." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because it's twice the length of a normal car."
Wow.
And it's like, and I didn't put the registration on. I said, "I've got so many cars, I don't know which one I'm going to be using."
Yeah.
He said, "Only the Queen, because the royal family owns Regent's Park." And my house was at Cumberland Terrace in it. And it's funny because 2 Americans knocked at the door. But I said, "It's to America." I said, I don't see people without appointments." He said, "I think you'll want to see them. They've got a book." I said, "Okay, a book." And it was, what was that woman that married the king? What was her name?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, the American woman and he abdicated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, name escapes me.
Yeah,
I know
me too.
Yeah.
Well, they had this book and people were throwing bricks through the window of my dining room in those days. Well, before he abdicated, it was a grace and favour house from him because it belongs to the royal family. They can give you a grace and favour house, which is free. She lived there, and Wallace Simpson.
Oh.
And it was beautiful inside, the master suite, white marble from Italy for the female, and it was black leather mahogany for the man. And you had the dummy waiter going right the way through the house. So you could send down for food and it would come up to your bedroom. It was beautiful. It was one of the biggest houses. It looks like the White House.
Wow.
Yeah, all the white Grecian figures on the. It's a very exclusive place to live. In fact, heiress, American heiress, Woolworth's heiress, Barbara Hutton.
Oh.
She had a house there across from me, and she left it as the embassy now use it. Yeah, and because they always invited me for fireworks July the 4th.
Oh.
I like fireworks.
Yeah.
I like July the 4th.
Wow. So when all this is happening, and you have now been around Carroll many years, basically.
27 years, and then 15 years of marriage.
And when did that all start? When
Well, he said it was 27 years.
Yeah.
He was the one that said that.
Wow.
He said it's the time he first saw me.
Yeah.
Wow. And then when we got married, my husband had died of leukemia, you see, in the meantime.
Yeah.
And so I was free to marry. But I didn't really want to get married again. I really didn't.
And when was those? What years were those?
97, I got married to Carroll.
97. I see.
My husband died in 89. And yes, I didn't think I was going to get married to Carroll. I thought I was marrying John.
Oh.
And John, it's a silly thing. I was probably quite spoiled. He said, "That's my birthday," but to me it was very special. It's the one day of the year that's yours. So I said, I didn't get my birthday card. Well, my estate's he said it's very in the middle of nowhere. And it probably he was very flippant about it. And he knew damn well that meant a lot to me. I said, "Where are we dining tonight?" He said, "Well, I've had 200 people on my yacht and we're just clearing up." Big mistake. I said, "You know what you can do with that yacht?"
Yeah.
So then I looked, it's got Carroll Shelby's called again. And I thought, oh, so I banged the phone down on him. I rang up. It must have been 3 a.m. here or something. I rang the number he gave me, and a woman answered. And I said, is Carroll Shelby there? And she said, he's asleep. I said, well, wake him up. Tell him it's Cleo on the phone. He'll wake up. I said, Candy, what's the matter? What's the matter? I said, nothing. I'm coming to America. He kept inviting me. I went, no. I'm coming to. He said, when? I said, next flight. He said, what flight? I said, the next one. I don't know. I've just made my mind up now.
Yeah.
So he said, well, honey, let me know which one and I'll meet you. I'll come to the LAX. So anyway, I rang up all the airlines. Well, it was like, no time. I wanted to go straight away.
Last minute.
Yeah. And it was like, no, well, Virgin said, we've only got economy, but we can give you 3 rows.
3 rows.
Oh, I said, I'll take that. So I had my little Samsonite beauty case, which you had in those days.
Yeah.
And I had the front and the back, and I put my little beauty case down. I could see, I know what people were thinking, that I was eccentric.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. And those things go up and it becomes a bed.
Yeah.
So when I got here, it was, I think Carroll told his friends, and he said, everyone wants to meet you, but I had bad jet lag, like I've got at the moment. And I kept watching, you had Turner classic movies, which we didn't have in England. And I just got hooked on them. And I was watching one after the other and fall asleep, and then one after the other. So the maid came down, she said, you really must, there's a dinner.
Mm-hmm.
They want to meet you and they want you to go to a dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. And it was somewhere here. I can't remember where now. But anyway, we were having a meal. Lee Iacocca was there. Ned Tannen, the guy that ran Paramount Universal. That film of his jaw scared the hell out of me. And they were all people that were famous, but I didn't know about that. I never heard of Lee Iacocca.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
they're all just. Anyway, Ned had a starlet with him, and I couldn't speak to anybody because I didn't know anybody. So I just sat there, and then Ned had to go, and apparently at the desk outside there'd been something happened, and he said Shelby's going to marry her. She said, no, he says never get married again. He'll marry her. If he doesn't, I will. And she went whack. That was quite funny. Ned told me after. And he used to keep coming around saying, plan B, marry me. And once someone left the restaurant we were at because I said, Ned, you've got to stop this because it's stopping your friendship with Carroll, and you've known each other a long time. I don't believe in divorce. I'm married to Carroll, and that's it. And right up until his death, he was just a lovely man, but he knew his cars. He had a whole lot. He said, that damn Cobra that I've got off you, da, da, da. Anyway, he came round once, Carroll wasn't in, and he said, I've got a special car. I bet you don't know what it is. Okay. And he pulls it out, and it looked like a Mercedes 190E, those little Mercedes,
Oh, yeah.
So he said, I know. I said, I know what your car is. I know, I've got one in England. I said, it's a Porsche Mercedes, and it's very, very fast, and they only made a few of them. I could do my house to London in 1 hour, 20 minutes. And he just looked like shocked. It was that car he had, his was silver blue. He said, wow, is there any car you haven't had? I said, not that I can know of. But he's a great guy. He was a lovely guy. But normally his car, it was really Ferraris, his collection.
And this is for Carroll, you said?
No, he ran Paramount and Universal. In fact, he's the one that got Carroll's life story lot.
I get. Oh, yeah.
To them. And then unfortunately Ned died. And the way he used to drive sometimes in Bel Air, he said, are you okay? I'm fine. Sort of, you see the whites of the knuckles.
Yeah.
God, that was on blind beds. I thought, please don't let another car come the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then Carroll's lifestyle, of course, is different, and Sir Tony Moss was a bit worried about me and the others in England that he said, he used to ring out, Shelby, you're treating her right. I'm going to come and take her back. And we'll put Cleo on. And how is he? I said, he's fine. He said, he's got a bad reputation. I said, has he? Why? No, well, he'll tell you that. No, well, I'm not going to get involved in all that. So I said, no, he's fine. He treats me so well. He said, well, just let us know if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Said, okay.
Wow.
That's weird. But then it was a whole different sort of people. I didn't know Phil Hill. I'd never heard of him. And Dan Gurney and Bob Bondurant and people like that. So it was a whole new world of racing. Because I used to go to the British Racing Drivers Club in England, at Silverstone, where they had the Grand Prix, and it was just different racing, NASCAR,
Yeah.
and things like that. They just go round and round.
Yeah. Yeah. The American style.
Yeah. What was it? Billy France said something happened at his Daytona. I think he owned Daytona race. I'm not too sure. Anyway, he said, someone throw something on the track. This is getting boring.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I said, wow. Okay.
Interesting.
But it was. He said, which is your favourite? I said, M&M's car. I love M&M's.
Oh,
I
it's
don't know who
candy.
driving it. I don't know
Candy,
what the
yeah.
car was, but
Yeah.
M&M's.
Yeah. You
Good
saw it
stuff.
as it drove by. Wow. So when you were with Carroll, he had pretty much kind of wound down his racing careers, or was he still involved in cars and
He was
production?
still involved, but it wasn't doing very well.
Mm.
It was he had no new cars coming out, except for the Series 1, which was kind of okay, but I don't quite know why that failed. I had one. He gave me one. There's quite a powerful
The
car.
big car with the big front end on it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember going down road day drive with a friend of mine, an American lady, and his car pulls up, and I didn't. It's Puff Daddy. That was it. He
Mm.
said, "I want that car." I
Mhm.
said, "She's talking to him."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Shut up."
Wow.
So he must have known what it was. It's a
Yeah.
Series 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just thought, the Viper, we did that for Chrysler.
Mm.
And he was still into all that. Yeah, because he was a name, he was invited to everything.
Yeah. The brand. Yeah.
Yeah, and you go to Pebble Beach, and he said, "I want to see the cars," and I can't, because everyone like mob him, and like
Yeah.
Rolls Royce go quickly over here, and they'd lift the rope up, and we'd belt into the
Right
back.
over.
They took care of us to keep us away. Carol said, "I just not enjoying this." He said,
Yeah.
"I can't look at the cars."
Right. The celebrity part of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it?
he was very down to earth.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He was great, but he worked really hard. And when he watched the last one, he came out of hospital still with the band around his wrist.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a very tenacious man,
Mm-hmm.
very tenacious. I don't know how he did it, how he kept alive with all those pills. We had a pill room at the house, and they'd be changing the levels and the times, and it was constant every day. I mean, it was a hell of a lot because he had 2 transplants, so he didn't have an immune system. You see, so
Wow.
he had to take cyclosporine, which killed it, and that was tough.
Wow. You had mentioned a story one time back about the program that the Ford Mustangs had with his signature on the glove box, and there was where you could actually if you owned a Mustang or a Cobra, you could take off your glove box cover and send it into the factory, and he could autograph it.
Yes, he sent it to the foundation,
Hmm.
and all the money went to this children's fund that he had, and sometimes I put Shelby in Las Vegas. They'd either go there or there.
Oh.
But it didn't come to Ford because Carroll wasn't in Detroit with Ford.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was this end, and he used to sign them. Yeah, he did. And I just thought, now Carroll, see, he loved cars, but I think he was getting not tired of them, but everything
Right.
was cruising,
Yes, yeah.
and he loved aircraft. That was what he
Yeah,
really
yeah.
loved. And he said to me when we first got married, he said, "What do you think of that the jet there?" I said, "That's very nice." And we got a commercial and just happened to look, and he said, "Oh, by the way, you're going to be a pilot." I said, "I am. Why?" He said, "Because I lost my license because I got a heart transplant."
Oh,
And he loved flying his aircraft. So he said,
that was the limitation. Yeah, you couldn't
yeah.
pilot.
So he said, he said, "You're a clever little shit." He said, "You'll pass." I thought it was just passing that. Oh, no, it was. That was a string of ones like
Right.
Stick and Rudder and all that. And that's how I met Baron Hilton. But yeah, he liked going up to Barron's because it was all about flying and not about cars.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and the mistakes they made
Oh,
and the acrobatic stuff. It was cool. Steve Fossett, who went around the world on his own, he actually died in the aircraft that I flew up there. It was a Super Citabria, and it was high wing, and it was acrobatic, and with a tail dragger. It's completely not like the tricycle gear that you learn on the Cessnas. Well, he'd be there and he's sitting next to me. "I'm going to fly that Citabria." I said, "You're not going to fly it. You're not, because you haven't passed your exams." He said, "I can fly a jet." I said, "They're easy." I said, "This is not. I'm telling you, you can't fly it." Well, I wasn't there one Saturday. And up he went. Last scene, he left. Everyone was waiting for him to come back. He never came back.
Oh no.
They found his body a year later. The animals had it was a wallet or something they'd found.
Yeah, ID. Yeah.
Yeah, and we thought that he'd got into a downdraft somewhere and did a 180 or tried to and got stuck. So I went out there after him. Baron Hilton said to me, "Go to the hangars, a surprise for you." And he'd bought another one, but it was red and white. This one was blue and yellow. And I said, "Look, Baron, I know that everyone's concerned about going to the Sierras, but I want to do it where Steve went. I want to find out how he died."
No. Wow.
He said, "I don't think you should." I said, "I need to, just to clarify in my mind how it happened." So he said, "Okay, then. All right." And off I went. Where he died, he knew that area very well. He told me at the hotel. And he said that he used to hike there when he was young. And he showed me some bits. He said the throttle was fully in. I said, "What?"
Wow.
He said, "That wasn't an accident."
Oh no. Oh no.
So yeah.
Oh boy.
I miss him as a character.
Yeah.
Really was.
You know, and I wanted to just go back a minute when you were speaking about cars, and you were talking about like 19 cars. One of the questions I was going to ask was, what was some of the fantasy cars that you would like to own? But what was some of those cars that you had? Were they all English based or European cars?
No, Ferraris was Italian.
Yeah.
Mercedes, which saved my life. One of them put it through a house. And BMWs. I never quite took to BMWs. Yes. My first husband, he said, "As your birthday present, a little tiny box." He said, "Go out to the stables." The stables were next to our garages. And I looked at it, I thought, BMW. He said, "It's the latest one. They've only, it was evolving at the time. It was a 325i or something."
Yeah.
And my partner at the model agency said to me, "Nice family car, Cleo." She said, "What about your Mercedes SL?" I said to my husband, "I'm not selling my SL." He said, "Well, then have that." It lasted a couple of months with me. That's about it. And to get to drive it slow in those days, 50 miles an hour for the first. And I was doing the boat show, which was miles away, on the water. I was trying to drive at 50 miles an hour. So I never really took. I bought a couple of their coupes were lovely, 635 CSIs.
Yeah, bigger ones.
I bought a red, fun enough, a red and a white one. I've got a thing about red and white. I bought every car I wanted, every car.
Wow.
Rolls Royces. The favourite of all of them was my, I had a British Racing Green Flying Spur Chinese headlamp. But, you pull out and they go, "Oh, Daddy's car." I said, "My father's dead, actually." "What's your boyfriend's car?"
No.
"Oh, I said, "You're never possibly going to believe this, but it's my car."
Yeah.
It's like when the police once, she did lost lots of points for speeding.
Oh yeah.
So I said to Simone, "I'm going to take the lamp." I rang that Lamborghini, get my, I think it was a red one, out. My daughter and I, we're going for a ride. And I got the car. I said, "You want to drive?" I said, "No, I can't reach the pedals." I said, "Fine, Mummy will drive." Mummy's going to do 70 till she joins the freeway. And then she'll double it to 140, 150. And from nowhere will come the police. I said, "Listen." So she got out and they stopped me and said, "It's a beautiful car. Do you know what you're doing?" I said, "I do." "Yes, I know exactly what speed I was doing." I said, "I was trying to teach Mippity Moo about things." And he said, "Cleo, that number plate must have cost more than the car." I said, "Well, yeah, you're about right, actually, because you have to buy them in England and it has to be A plate." And Cleo Lane was after it at the same time. I had my little thing up. I was bidding for it on DMV. And
highest bidder, basically, right? To the highest bidder.
Yes, I mean, now it's
the plate.
100,000, 200,000 for a number plate.
That's in the Middle East, too. They do the same thing.
Yes, exactly the same thing. Yeah, because of Prince Bandar and everything. Prince Torquay rented my London house. The Saudi royal family rented it.
Yeah.
Brought their Bedouins with them. That's another story. But yeah, it's a funny old world. I mean, I like minis still because that was my first love.
Right.
Was a mini.
Emotions.
But the SLs at the motor show, because I used to staff the motor show, my model agency, and the girls would go, "Oh, here comes Cleo." Every time we see a Mercedes SL, we always think of you because you're the SL girl, because I always used to have them right the way through up until I married Carroll. That was my daily runaround. But yeah, it was my interest in cars. And I knew a lot of men that created them,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And I like my Astons. I can't remember. I had about 8. I'm not too sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I can't.
But and then I was going to ask while you were talking about jumping in the car and doing all this the speeding and what you're doing there. Now, listening to your story, fascinating. You seem to be a very influential and powerful woman throughout whatever you did, as far as the people you influenced, the people that have been around your world. What would you give advice to, as far as women go, and up and coming women that might want to be involved in the car business and things like that?
Yes, I think don't outthink too much. You've got, if you've got it, and if it's your passion, follow it, because you're always going to do well if you really enjoy what you're doing. And if your passion's cars, then you'll do it well. And be like me. I never saw any barriers. That's why Carol and I got on so well together. I was like Carol. Barriers are for breaking, rules are for breaking. Life to me was an awfully big adventure, and it still is now.
Yes.
I'm not a planner as such. I just go with, I don't know, and I just have everything I want.
Hmm.
As wanted it enough, as my father said. But it's I do like cars. I've had every car that I did give a speech once to Aston Martin at Pebble Beach, the owners. They were for the evening, and I said to the guy, he said, you could really talk on any car, couldn't you? Because you've had every car.
Yeah.
I said, yes, I can, and I can tell them the funny side of it and things like that, because life should be enjoyed. It's like friends of mine in England. He goes, I'll blow a Bentley. He said, I'll leave it in a museum. No, I won't. I'm going to race the thing. He said, the cars are for not trader queens. They're supposed to be on the road and watching them. And he goes, I'm total. That's what I used to call him. He'd always be the last one back. But he enjoyed it.
Yes.
The historics.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I met Rob Walton, who owns Walmart. And because here's one of our cars, but it was at Lord Marsh's banquet. Yeah, he was on my table. But yeah, I find everything about life is don't let everyone say to you no.
Hmm.
You can't do that, because
Right.
that used to make me want to do it more.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. The
if you
desire.
love something, it's a passion. I like speed. So my mother said, anything fast, I'd jump on it or in it, like my racehorses. When they were resting, I'd put a crash helmet on and I'd hold this powerful thing back till I got the open field and I'd let it go. And I thought I was going to fly. It was like the most amazing. And in a jet, you build up the engine power, keep your feet on the brakes and do a short field takeoff.
Mhm.
Power, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that. And my Aston Martin's waiting for the open road in front of me. Pow, I was gone,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny though, we were in London once. I was with the Duke of Devonshire's son, and he owned most of the Devonshire Muses and the whole estate. And we were talking about the Duke of Westminster, who had he just became that. His father died. And Guy Tamplin said, I've got a GT40. It was raced by an American guy at Le Mans, he said. And yeah, I bought an actual one of them. It still had all the numbers and everything on. So he said, look, I'm going to take it out at 3 a.m. Well, we were in a very wealthy neighbourhood. And he starts it up. That car, how noisy it was.
Yeah.
The police got him at Reading. They set a roadblock up for him at Reading. That was a long way out of London,
Yeah.
Berkshire. But we used to do silly things like that.
Wow.
But, you know,
Wow.
life's fun.
Very
It's for
good.
living. If you think you can do something, go for it. Listen, at least you know at the end of the day you tried.
Hmm. Hmm.
Don't just sit there wishing, oh, I should have done, could have done, would have
Yep,
done.
exactly. Well, you know, and now you explain that in your philosophy and how you think. That's pretty much what the Shelby theme was too. I mean, if you
Exactly.
spoke to him, I mean, you are more kind of the similar types of
Karen and I were
personalities.
free spirits, both of
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
And no, if anyone stood in our way, like anything, we found a way around it. We
Right.
got what we wanted,
Right.
no matter what. And that's why we got on so well. In fact, I was his longest marriage.
Uh,
Never been married that long before. But he was a good husband. He was a lovely man. He really was. And yeah, so many
wow.
fond
Wow.
memories. Gosh.
Well, Miss Shelby, this has been an amazing journey.
Oh, talking about cars, you
Learned so much. Yes, learned so much more on the depth and what was going on. This has been amazing, and thank you for coming by.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yes,
Thanks
yes,
to all these beautiful cars.
yes. Well, we'll have to go around and look at a few.
Can I take a souvenir?
Sure, sure.
Like one of those cars. I'll look.
Well,
Didn't mind about the owner.
thank you, everybody. This has been an amazing journey. Thank you for riding with us. And until next time, we'll take care and we'll see you then. Thanks. Thanks for riding with us today. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and share. See you here next time.